After a week-long trip in Rio de Janeiro, the UFC is headed up north to Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, Rogers Arena, where a middleweight main event between Reinier and Brendan Allen will headline UFC Fight Night at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN. Hello, everybody. Brett Okamoto alongside Ian Parker. We are going to discuss this UFC Fight Night main event and the rest of the card from a gambling perspective here in a second. But before we do, we're going to look back. Charles Oliveira had a great night in Rio de Janeiro. We unfortunately did not, Ian.
No, we did not. That was a tremendous transition. Mosquito by submission. We got our prop there. We hit Lacerda money line over 1.5, and then we hit field home money line. So the night was looking good, and then everything else started to fall short. I'll tell you, the one thing that drove me nuts was the Almeida as well over 2.5. It was very clear at weigh-ins. Almeida had a broken hand. I had already given the play out. It is what it is. On to this week. Let's go.
Yep, on to this week, and it is a 185-pound, 5-round contest against De Ridder and Brendan Allen. De Ridder minus 225 favorite against Brendan Allen. De Ridder, man, he has been extremely active, as we know, looking for his 5th win in less than 12 months. Obviously favored to get it done. Does he get it done, and do we like him at minus 235, Ian?
Well, when I submitted my picks into our show, the number was around minus 190, so it has clearly skyrocketed to minus 235. I think people are starting to put that money on RDR, and I believe timing-wise, rightfully so. And it's not to say that Brendan Allen, because this matchup, Brett, you would think that based on De Ridder's body of work this year, and Allen only coming off a 1-fight win streak against Vettori, that De Ridder would be maybe like a minus 400. I think stylistically, because of Brendan Allen's groundwork and his jiu-jitsu game, his high-level grappling, maybe people think he can match him there. However, because this is a 5-round fight, Brendan Allen taking this on short notice, and Allen has not been very good when it comes to 5 rounds. He is 10 to gas, and I can tell you, taking this on short notice, he wants to get this fight done as soon as possible. If he misses, I think this is a win-win situation for him. He's expected to lose if he does, and if he wins, huge upset. I'm going to put a small unit on RDR even at this number. I think his pressure coming forward, Allen doesn't fight well off the back foot. Let's go De Ridder here on the money line. This is as high as I would go. If you want to take a secondary play, under minus 4.5, I don't think this thing sees all 5 rounds. But I think De Ridder is he's peaking at the right time. Allen getting this on short notice. Good opportunity. Round fight plays in De Ridder's favor here.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see how this plays out. Again, to your point, Brendan Allen, very good wrestler. So will we see some fun grappling exchanges, or will we see it cancel out and see a stand-up battle? Very curious to see how this matchup plays out. At 185 pounds, let's go to the co-main event. Kevin Holland is on a welterweight run right now. As we all know, it might be middleweight, might be welterweight. He switches back and forth. But right now, in his latest run, he is 2-1 at 170 pounds. Coming off of a loss, though, an upset loss against Daniel Rodriguez, taking on Mike Malott, who is always excited to fight in Canada. And this is a pick'em, minus 110 on each side. Which side are we leaning here in this welterweight matchup?
Well, from a betting perspective, we're going to go over 1.5. If I had to pick a side, I probably would lean towards Malott, especially in Canada here. You know, with Holland, I'm very curious to see what type of Kevin Holland we get, Brett. That's because coming off that last loss to Rodriguez, I think he's worried about getting knocked out again. I don't think he wants to make the same mistakes. I think he really went into that fight expecting to go in there and just smoke Rodriguez, especially at 170, where I believe this is the right weight class for him. However, Malott's a very high IQ fighter, has good power, very smart on the ground, rarely makes mistakes outside of the Neil Magny fight. I think Malott gets it done. However, because of Holland's last fight, I think he is going to be a little bit more defensively responsible. I think we're going to go over 1.5. I think Malott puts him on his back and keeps him there for the better part of 3 rounds.
Okay, so maybe a little bit of wrestling there should get us to the over at minus 165 in the welterweight division. Let's go to the next play, and it is your premium play. It takes place in the bantamweight division, and we get to see Marlon Cheeto Vera again. Said he lost a little bit of love for the sport there, maybe a little bit burned out. He's back, says that the fire is back, but you think Ayman Zahabi gets it done in Canada?
Yeah, listen, when it comes to Cheeto Vera, we all love him because he's always game, and he comes on and puts on a good show, and he's a 5-round fighter. Just like a lot of these other guys that are very slow in rounds 1 and 2. Ayman Zahabi in Canada. This is Zahabi's chance to get a win over a very good name, a former title challenger in Cheeto. If Zahabi wins, he pushes forward. Give me Ayman Zahabi as my premium play, especially in Canada, coming off that Jose Aldo win.
Yep, bigger opportunity here for Zahabi to pick up another win over a big name. Let's move to the lightweight division. Your next best bet. Kyle Nelson is taking on Matt Frivola. Very, very tight odds here, and you were taking the Kyle Nelson side of this.
This morning, he was plus odds. That money's coming in on Nelson for good reason. He's been showing improvements here. Unless Frivola can create an incredible amount of chaos in an early knockout, I think Nelson's the better fighter everywhere it goes. He has showed a different level of control. He has shown good striking and counter-striking, which pays off against Frivola. Nelson also in his backyard. I think he gets the win here. I liked it at plus money. I still like it at minus 105.
Okay, and then to round out your best bets, I was hoping we'd have a little bit of action on this one because I think this is going to be a fun fight. Is Charles Jourdain taking on Davy Grant at 135 pounds, and you like Jourdain even at sort of the elevated number there at minus 175?
Another number that's going up. This morning, he was minus 165. Now it's up to 175. It's going to keep going up. Listen, Davy Grant's a tough outing for everyone. Very durable, tough, comes to fight. But I think Jourdain has found his rhythm here. We know he's a very good kickboxer. He's added submissions to his game. He's added wrestling to his game. And his pace is very solid with that forward pressure. As long as he does not allow Davy Grant to dictate the narrative of rounds 2 and 3, and he continues to push forward, make Davy Grant fight off his back foot, Jourdain gets the win in his backyard. I think he's the better fighter here. He's on the up and up, and Grant kind of stays here. He doesn't really get any better or worse. So let's go with Jourdain.
Yeah, Jourdain has had some big moments up in Canada, but Davy Grant has looked very, very competitive in fights that he's been a big underdog. So a little bit nervous taking on Davy Grant as an underdog, but Charles Jourdain, we're picking him minus 175 to get the big moment there up in Canada. We are done with the best bets, but we got a prop of the night, and it takes place in the Manon Fior Jasmine Jasudavicius fight. What do you got for us?
Look, this is a big opportunity for Jasmine Jasudavicius, but I just don't see her winning this fight against Manon Fior. Fior is the better striker, physically, can keep this fight standing, good takedown defense. But when it comes to Manon Fior, it's like death taxes and winning by decision here. We're getting a good number. I think Fior keeps his fight standing, takes his fight all the way, wins it by decision.
So we're taking a lot of Canadians, but not in that one for our prop of the night. That takes care of that business. We got the parlays next. First one up, long shot parlay, and you got a 3-teamer for us on Saturday.
Yep, let's go Amin Zahabi by decision. Let's go Cody Gibson to sneak out a submission. Very good rear naked choke and also good guillotine. I believe he's going to wrestle there. And Stephanie Luciano, who's over 2-1 favorite to get it done by decision at plus 1809. 3 legs, plus 1800. Let's go.
So that takes care of the long shot parlay. How about Parker's parlay up there in Vancouver, Canada?
Man, we've been missing on this last leg a little too much for my liking, Brett. So let's nail this one this week. We're going to go Manon Fior and Jasmine over 2.5 rounds. Azamet Bakayev at money line. And we're going to go Cronin Lisboa that starts tonight over 2.5 rounds, plus 141. 2 overs, 1 money line. I'm liking it this week, and we're going to find out real quick early in the night if we hit this parlay or not.
All right, it should be a fun card up there in Vancouver, Canada. You can find it at 7 Eastern. Prelims start at 4 Eastern on the ESPN app. Thank you so much for watching UFC Best Bets. We will be right back here next week to discuss the next pay-per-view, UFC Abu Dhabi. Tom Aspinall looking for that first defense of the undisputed heavyweight championship. We'll see you next week. Take care.